Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I gotta run to the pharmacy real fast, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the one for Sis Tiffany, where she had asked me about the Gnostic Gospels, and I hope this is coming out right. If not, it won't be the first video or recording that I failed to get to post. So I will get my stuff together. I will get my act together. Well, that's not an act, so I guess I have to have one of my kids help me learn how to do this or something. I don't know. I just don't want to have to teach myself all this technological stuff. Okay, I'm going to post that now. See what we can do. You go here. Try this once more. I'm going to go ahead and add another little recording to this video, or maybe even another one. Just so I can put out a couple words today. And like I said, I've had troubles with the video, so computers. Very confusing to me. But Tiffany had asked me about any other Gospels, if I'd read any of the Gnostic. And it's been a long time. I think through these years, I think I might have looked to a couple of them that I chose, through the Spirit leading, and I knew, it's working with me. I was going to allow the Father to guide me into, everything. I basically, these last years, have stayed just to the Gospels. That's Mark, Luke, and John. I wasn't even looking to Paul, because there was a diversion, and I even had an uncertainty of Paul. I've had every thought that man has had. I understand all these things. I've already been through them. But when it comes to, after I first heard the testimony many years ago, the world told me that I was wrong and grounded me out with their contrary teachings that was contrary to what I had heard in the testimony, causing me much confusion for many years. But after many years of just darkness, and I was holding on to the word that I heard through it all, That's what Christ does. That's why Christ was given. It's not through ourselves that we make it through and abide. It is through the Spirit of Christ that we were made able. And it has nothing to do with ourselves. But after many years of confusion, and there's just so much that's happened in my life, and I don't know how I originally got a hold of it, but the first one I had ever, and I had no confirmation with anyone up until this point. The first confirmation I ever received was the Gospel of Thomas, because it was a very, spiritual, and it's been a long time, like I said, since I've really looked into it. I have not looked into any of these books since I now have discernment and understanding. Perhaps I will do that. But at that point, there was so much, that, I was always leery of everything, because the world told you, deception, Antichrist, devil, Satan. I had all this confusion from the world, just as all of us have. It was part of the trying, we had to go through it, and to learn. And, I heard truth. I heard truth in it, but, it was just part of my journey, and then another thing, there was more. There was a pit stop with witnesses. I remember the Jehovah's Witness. When I looked into them, and because they spoke much truth, and it seems like when they come to visit me, I would ask them questions, and they seemed to answer correctly. And I even went to the Kingdom Hall maybe twice. There's something always... I have to pause it for a moment. Okay, maybe I can go ahead and... you.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and try to finish it.
Made me persevere. Something always made me go on. I knew, see, as I've told you, I always knew that the promise from the beginning of my testimony is that I would one day understand. That was that was told to me. That was put into my heart. And that is what I held on to, that promise that I heard when I first heard the testimony, the good news. And so, that I had, I don't know what turned me off from the witnesses, but I just, I went on. And I might have read a little bit of here and there, Gospel Mary, and, I've seen some of them, I've heard truth in them. And like I said, I have to go now and look again to see what these books are saying, but, and then, I've read a little of all of them, but, even the Quran, most people who speak against the Quran haven't even read it. They're just speaking what the world has told them. Even as the books, they're speaking against the Gnostic Gospels, because that's what the world's told them. But have they ever read them for themselves? Most of them, no, they have not. Because had they read, they would have heard the same truth. I've heard much truth in many writings now. I've read the Quran twice. And that, and it seemed, the Quran seemed to have much of the truth without the confusion. It was a lot of what I heard, but something still made me go on. It's like, that's why when I told you, people from the beginning, I've been through everything that man has, every thought that they've had, I've been there. I've already been through it. It was part of what brought me to where I am. And now, it's a part of my journey. It's a part of my testimony. But my testimony is what led me through. And, I've not looked back at those with the understanding and discernment that I now have. But, now that where I'm at, I don't need to. Maybe I will look into it just as, I don't know. But if I am led, because now I know the truth. I don't need to look to other things, But yes, I right now I can't say that I will go back and look. And I've looked into the Book of Enoch a little bit, but as revelation, now that I have the understanding, discernment, I have revelation just comes in epiphany. I don't need to look at another book because it will be given to me. And I've already ate these things up. I've ate up all the scriptures. I've ate these things up. Now, when the epiphanies come, when the revelation comes, the insight is given and you see. So I don't think that I need to eat anything else up. I need to let the Spirit discern for me all things. Because a lot of them I find they get, even through those books and religions, they get caught up on one, Gnosticism or, Islam. They're all just parts of religion, and man has made religions of those letters. Even of those books, just as they done with the Bible, man will toss those same letters. But it's those who have the Spirit, those who will make it through all of the diversion and understandings of man, But I've never spoken against something unless it's given to me, so. And I just say, I've heard much truth in all of the above books. There's much truth. And there's probably many more. When you consider that even when the testimony was first given, some heard, and whosoever would have heard would have spoken these things and written these things. So I'm sure, and us today, through Christ is being fulfilled, we will understand the truth in all things. As these things, that we will have every right answer as things are presented to us. You know, that was part of the trial. All those books, all the letters of man, it was part of the trial. It was part of the... And now, it is, in all that we take in, it is the Spirit that purges out what does not belong. So, we need not to look to other writings. Because there's always going to be more writings. Well, maybe not always, but there's many to look to. And that's where man errs. They look to everything, everyone, but the one who they should. That's what we were supposed to learn. That's the lesson. You look to everyone, but the one who is true. You look to everyone, but the source. You haven't looked to the source. So, and what we do not understand now, we will understand tomorrow. And you let the Spirit discern, not the mind of man and what you've been told. If you do read any of it, you let the Spirit discern. And if you're doing very well, and it is, and as you know, we have our lower days, but as we learn and overcome, you know, the truth gets stronger and stronger in us, and nothing can be hidden, you know. I love you. I love you all. Many blessings.
Okay. I know that wasn't great. I really hope you could hear. If it don't, I guess I'll try to do it in a quiet place, because I really want those to be posted. So I might have to redo it if they don't come out. But as for that, the writings, the authority is the Spirit, and the Spirit moved upon man, and man spoke these things, and then man wrote them. That through those who did not have, whichever way it was that the letter was corrupted, and the understanding of man, you know, that's how we ended up. It's over the process of time. And man, you know, the true word, the true meaning was drowned. It was smothered. And you have all these religions. And that's what the Father is doing today. It is those same words. Those who have that Spirit, was planted by that Spirit. That's what, all that I have read, all that I have went through, all those thoughts that had went through my mind, not knowing, that is what the Spirit is consuming. That's what's been consumed out of me these 3 years. And when you know this, you don't need to go more to, you can, because the Spirit will give you discernment. If you're led to go to these, to, you know, to bring forth the truth that is in them, or to bring forth the air, just as even is in the Bible. What's been purged from our conscience, it's a co-perception. The Spirit has a co-perception. There's only one true perception, and one Spirit that can give it. And if you're strong enough, like there's been times when I've looked at other things. When I wasn't strong, I have not looked at any of these things since I have the discernment and understand what I do now. And, you know, and there has been times, like even when I would go back over these 3 years as the Spirit's worked with me, when I would go back to some of the scriptures, things that I wasn't sure on, that I had not come to understand yet, I would even get confused, or when I'd hear others speaking the scriptures wrongly. You know, I did not have that. I did not have the understanding. You know, but now through it all, so it would throw me off. It would always, you know, get me, you know, those thoughts going again, those uncertainties and things that I was not sure of. You know, but with the discernment, when you are strengthened and established, and that is what the purging does. It takes out the dross. It takes out all that is false and carnal, and purges it from you, leaving you, you know, new. And it is new. I mean, I can't put into words exactly what Oh, great. They're having a problem with it.
Yeah, it definitely has a partial, but
Oh, I knew not to do that. I knew not to call in my prescription. Never done it. And anyway, I don't even remember where I was at, but as the Spirit was, like I've said, I did not understand little by little. Now I see clearly, what the Spirit has worked inside me, in my life, and once you understand what you once did not, that's when you're made new. That's when you are prepared to receive more. And I don't know what more the Father will give, but I know it is just a great working, and you have known. So, but once you have that Spirit and understand and that discernment that we now have, you don't need to look to other books, because the Spirit will give you all understanding. But even as I go now to read, as I go to the Greek, and that's where much, even I think some of my brethren, they still have not understood the depth of the air of the letter. And that's what I've been studying this whole 3 years, in the last daily for a year and a half. Because before I was just going to the Greek a little bit and then still reading some of the scriptures, but now there is so much that man has not heard. And that there's so much in the written letter. That's where it's speaking, who have not known the depths of Satan as they speak. The depths of the corruption of the word, the carnal understanding. It is a great working of the Spirit to make you be able to see that deep beneath the letter. And I haven't seen all, but I have seen much. And so, just let the Father's blessing continue. Christ be glorified more and more. This is Father's plan. This is Father's working. I love you all. Bye for now.